If you put Ozonapolis, Rebro Mofokeng, and Nkota together, hey, you can even throw in Vidboy in there, and they still won't match the age 81, which is two players that scored this past weekend in the Premiership. 81, two players. What is age, Hlompho? Do you know who I'm talking about?
It's just a number.
It's just a number, Tin. And of course, the 38-year-old who just returned, Ralani. Both of them scoring in one match. How about Tlakantabaira 81? They're almost 100 years old. Mark?
That's special. That's definitely special. And, you know, congratulations to them. They've really gone a long way to defying what is a norm in South Africa. Because once you cross the 30-year threshold, you're normally written off and you're deemed as, you know, in your twilight of your career. They have gone on well beyond that.
Absolutely fantastic. So take a lesson from that in your ordinary everyday job like me and you. Hey, what is age, right? Speaking of age, he's the oldest one here, and he's going to be giving us the rule of law. Taref, what's going on?
Today we're talking team colors, especially the colors of the goalkeeper. Ngoba le Bloemfontein le ba pere di tshwana. There is a goalkeeper ki mang, player marumo galant ki mang, but re tla o jwetsa mla o ring today. Ka jego mla o ring, umthetho uthini. So tell nge language yakho ngoba this is SABC Sport. Ngiyabuya.
Shilo Sako Saseka will be back with you. Hlompho Kekana, Mark Haskins, Mazola Molefe. The entire team is here, and we're going to be giving you news. We're going to give you sporting from the weekend. There's the Betway Premiership. Kaizer Chiefs still unbeaten, and they're just cruising through with those 1-0s. Orlando Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns, and AmaZulu. Are they all chasing? Is it that sort of season? Well, that's why we have this topic here. We'd love to hear from you. With AmaZulu's 2 points behind the log leaders, do you think they can challenge the PSL's big three for the Betway Premiership title? Hlompho, you didn't open up, so what do you think?
It's about Leicester City. Stories are Leicester City.
Ooh.
If you remember that story, you can realize anything can be possible in football.
All right. So there it is. I'd love to hear from you. SABC Sport across all platforms. We'd love to hear from you. But right now, we want to hear from the best there is. It's the Super Journal. Mazola Molefe with the latest news.
Yes, Andile, the latest news. Let's start first with Olisa Nda, released by Orlando Pirates on mutual consent, that contract termination. He's a free agent, essentially, at the moment, and I'm led to believe that the player prefers to stay in the PSL. But now the complication with that, as a foreign international, the PSL, remember, only get 5 foreign slots. And at the moment, given it's way past the halfway mark in the season, a lot of these spots have been filled, especially by your so-called top clubs in the PSL. And Olisa, if he wants to sign for such a team in the local Betway Premiership, could have to wait until the 1st of July. But I want to get the Huskers' opinion. Should he stay here and try to win his way back into the Nigeria football national team, or explore other options elsewhere outside the continent, Mark?
It's a tough one, and again, it's a tough one for decision for him to make. We can say over the last 2 years, because this season he hasn't played. Last season he only played 9 games. So he needs to move on. He needs to find a new home where he can establish himself and really get back to his personal best. Because we know he's a phenomenal footballer. He's a unique centre-back, and he's got so much to offer, but probably not at Pirates, especially with a new coach coming in who probably doesn't know enough about him, especially that he didn't play last season, even when the coach was at Mamelodi Sundowns. So he needs a new lease on life and maybe different shores. If he can't get a club locally, he'll have to look beyond the South African borders.
Well, Olisa does have his free agent status at the moment. Speaking of one former Orlando Pirates star to another who's just joined Mamelodi Sundowns, I'm talking about Monnapule Saleng. A lot of people wondering, where is he and when is he likely to make his debut for the Brazilians? I asked Coach Miguel Cardoso earlier this afternoon.
Saleng has recovered very positively. If you remember when I spoke about Saleng, I told in a very negative approach, probably we may have Saleng out for 2 months. Because I also wanted to take out some pressure from his recovery and from himself. I believe that it will probably not be necessary all that time for him eventually to be training normal. Then we need to understand from him if he's already feeling himself physically and fitness-wise capable to help the team. Make him understand, of course, a few details from what we want from him, and then understand when the moment to allow him to be capable to perform.
That's Coach Miguel Cardoso giving us the latest on Saleng. There, I'm going to move on to his counterpart at Magesi FC. Well, probably soon to be ex-Magesi coach John Maduka. If you noticed and watched them against Orlando Pirates at the Orlando Amstel Arena, he sat in the stands. I'm told just a couple of hours before kickoff, he was issued with a suspension, and therefore discussions ongoing around the settlement, which means his exit is imminent at the club. And I'm going to ask now skipper Hlompho Kekana to just weigh in on the likelihood, as expected, that John Maduka is likely to be then leaving Magesi FC and trying to start a new chapter elsewhere. A mistake, Hlompho?
Mazola, I wouldn't call it a mistake. Unfortunately, my captain there didn't hit the ground running this season. Things didn't fall for him. You know, in 17 matches, he has won 3. And, you know, you drew 5 and you lost 9. That's too much for a team that wants to be out of that relegation. I feel like they need to change and get a new voice. Coach, skipper is always a good coach, and I do believe that wherever he goes, he always has an influence in making sure that the team plays for him. But I don't think things are going his way in this moment at Magesi.
Skipper Kekana, I'll tell you who hit the ground running. It's Deputy Sports Minister Peace Mabe. Just have a listen to this and I'll put it into context after a little while.
We took an opportunity that presented itself because we feel we have the necessary infrastructure and the support, of course, of hosting the WAFCON. When Morocco said we're not able to host South Africa, we said, yes, we are available. We're going to take it. Look, it cannot be debatable because we've just recently hosted a successful G20 where heads of states of different countries were here. So it tells you that in terms of hospitality, we are as well ready. We have the necessary infrastructure as well when it comes to stadiums. We've hosted the World Cup.
Well, essentially, the Deputy Minister has jumped the gun there. Conversations are good. She's right about that part. Conversations are ongoing behind the scenes as CAF and SAFA in South Africa try to find an alternative venue in case Morocco pull out. But she was not supposed to come out with the news. She was supposed to leave it to those with a higher pay grade than her to make the announcement. But we keep a close watch on developments here. Could it be that South Africa are the 2026 WAFCON host? Just around the corner, now. Speaking of people that have been in the country roaming around, I met up with the former France international and 1998 World Cup winner, Marcel Desailly. We sat down and I put it to him around Bafana, who are going to Mexico and face South Korea, as well as yet to be determined European opposition in that Group A. I asked him about Bafana's chances at the global showpiece.
You got the opportunity out of the 8 or 9 teams that will qualify, African team that will qualify for the World Cup to play this World Cup in a new format. So even being second or being third, you can still eventually qualify yourself. So as I said, preparation will be key. You are lucky you have a smart coach who knows exactly what he's talking about. He's been to victory, you know, so he knows. He has led them to, you know, 3rd position during the Ivory Coast African Cup of Nations. So there's the belief that the coach will prepare well the team no matter who is coming on. Because anyway, you are not favorite. This is the truth. But there is a belief, there is a possibility. That's why we love the football game.
He says we're not favorites, Andile, but we'll see about that. But for all this and more, check out sabcsport.com. We'll have the latest breaking news on all our platforms.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Mazola. He'll be back at the end of the show. There's still PSL that we're going to be giving you. We'll be focusing on AmaZulu this time around, but also Chippa United. Are they finally finding a way out of that dreary bottom? They haven't lost a match in their last 4 games. There are a couple of draws here, some victories here. They won again over the weekend. So we'll go to that. But remember that SABC Sport, we give you the Bundesliga, we give you the English Premier League, we give you women's football. We'll be celebrating those women today here as we give you what happened at the awards. And mostly, the Betway Premiership, which is where we got all our goals for our MVP.
Lilepo, what a strike. I got that. They all count, Ma'a. They all count, and he's got a way of striking this ball, and I like it.
He certainly has great technique, and this man, goal poacher supreme on the weekend, Kwaiba, making sure that he punishes every mistake that Durban City made.